Good morning. My name is Brett Flynn. I'm one of the hospice, Kaiser Hospice physicians, and on behalf of Kaiser Hospice, we'd like to welcome you to this Service of Remembrance. And I know, the holidays can be a very difficult time when we've just lost somebody that we love dearly, but we're just hoping that this service can be a little bit of a comfort and bring some peace, and hope we can honor those that we've lost this past year. So I'd like maybe for you to all just open up your program, and maybe we could all recite this first prayer together. We give back to you, O God, those who you gave us. You did not lose them when you gave them to us, and we do not lose them by their return to you. We have been taught that life is eternal and love cannot die. So death is only a horizon, and a horizon is only the limit of our sight. Open your eyes to see more clearly and draw us closer to you, that we may now who are with you. Amen.
Got it? My name is Jim Carter. I'm also a chaplain at Kaiser and the bereavement coordinator, and I'm so glad that you're here with us today as well. This service is a very meaningful, special service. We have this beautiful quintet that's been with us for 4 years now, and this is their gift of music. You can clap. This is a gift. They do this out of the kindness of their hearts. Many of them have been touched by loss in the past, and so it's a very special service, and so we're glad that you're here to be with us. This service, we call it a service of remembrance. It's also a service of light and a service of hope. The centerpiece of this service is the lighting of candles. Many of you, as you came in, wrote the name of your loved one down on a card, and then our doctors will be reading those cards in a bit, and you'll be invited to come forward and to light a candle there, and it's going to be beautiful. And we remember our loved ones, and we remember the light of their lives and the way they brightened our lives and our world, and how that light will never be forgotten. I'm the one that leads our bereavement support groups. We have 5 groups, and I recognize a number of you from our groups. And like we say in the groups, this is a gathering of love. You would not be here today if you had not been loved, and if you had not loved. It's truly a gathering of love. Sacred texts from all over the world have verses that say, love is eternal, love never dies, love is stronger than death. And while our loved ones are no longer here in physical form, that love remains. That love bond is eternal, and you will forever be connected to your loved one through that love. And even years down the road, there'll be a memory, a trigger, a smell, a song, something, and you'll have this grief spike. And that's because that love is still there. So when that happens, just know that's because of the love that never dies. When someone we love dies, we experience deep sadness. We experience just a bunch of complex emotions, from anger to loneliness to frustration. And we know that healing from a loss can take time. And sometimes it takes a lot of time, a long time. But the reality is that we are wired to heal. And we do get better. And you will get better, little by little. It takes time, but eventually, through the love and care of other human beings, through good self-care, through just remembering your loved one in so many special ways, you will be able to step back more and more into the fullness of life. And we know that's what our loved ones would want for us. When a loved one dies, there are two truths that seem to rise to the top. The first is that life is precious. You know this all too well. Life and time is precious. And so we're reminded to love fully and to value the time we have here on this earth. In hospice, we're reminded of this repeatedly, and The phrase that we hear a lot is, if there's something you want to do, something you need to say, some amends you need to make, do it now. Do it now. Life is precious and time is precious. And the second truth is that the most important thing in life, it's not how much you make, it's not status, it's not titles. The most important thing in life are our loving relationships, other human beings. And so we are reminded and encouraged to care for and tend to our relationships, to be with those that we love. We're encouraged to slow down, to stop rushing, to put down our phones, and really spend that good time with one another, especially this time of year. When a loved one dies, we're confronted with very big questions, ultimate questions. Richard Rohr, one of my favorite spiritual writers, says there are 5 things that our brains simply cannot comprehend. We just can't wrap our mind around these. And death is on the list. Death makes no sense. I mean, one minute our loved one is there, full of life and breath and vitality, and the next minute, they're gone. And our mind cannot make sense of that. That doesn't make any sense. Where did they go? What has just happened? Those of you that happened to be by the bedside when your loved one passed, and one minute they were full of life and radiance and movement, but then the next minute you could tell they were not there. They had left. And all that was left was a shell, a body that they were given to use while they were here. But we know intuitively that they're not there anymore, that they have gone on, and that part of them, their essence, their spirit, their radiance, has not died. Flesh and blood has been transformed into eternal spirit. When I am wrestling with my own thoughts about death, and I return to the writings of John O'Donohue. I love John O'Donohue, and some of you are familiar with him. I'm going to share a little passage from him. When we want to know about the journey of the soul, one of the best places to turn are to our mystics and our poets and our artists. They seem to be the most in touch with the eternal. And he says this. He says, the soul is the real container of the individual's life. He says, the eye always assumes that it is the physical body that holds the life. However, rather than the soul simply being a component or presence within the body, it's the soul that surrounds and pervades the body. The body is in the soul. This means that the soul has a different kind of knowing than the mind and its thoughts and feelings. While the knowing of the mind is limited by frontiers, the soul has no frontiers. At death, the mind is up against the last and ultimate frontier. It will attempt to understand and with dignity and hope accept what is ending and what is coming. However, the soul knows in another way, a different way. The soul is not afraid. The soul has no reason to be afraid, for death cannot touch the soul. And so as you step into the holy days ahead, we are in the midst of Hanukkah, and we are in the midst of Advent and the coming of Christmas. As you step into these holy days, no matter what spiritual path or tradition you practice, may you take comfort in knowing that your loved one is held in the eternal embrace of the beloved, of eternal love. And one of the best ways as you gather together during these sacred days, these holy days, I always say this at our bereavement group, but there are 3 things that really help, I believe. Good people, good food, and good stories. And so if you can find a way in the days ahead to gather all 3 of those things, you can take a very tender and difficult day and even turn it for good, so that at the end of the day you're like, that was actually nice. And so you might gather with your family or loved ones around a table, share a wonderful meal, maybe even cook a favorite dessert or a favorite dish that your loved one liked. You may even have a votive candle on the table in memory of their eternal presence. And at some point when it feels right, you might just ask around the table, what's a favorite memory? What's something about them you'll never forget? What is some way that they've touched your life and you'll forever be touched? These sorts of rituals can really, really help and bring peace and comfort. The holiday season, as Dr. Flynn mentioned, is a very tender time. And so we have a number of handouts for you at the end of the service. They'll be on the table that are designed to kind of help and give you some guidance in the days ahead. And one of them is a reading, Blessing by John O'Donohue. And I want to close my remarks today by reading you just a portion of it. Though your days here were brief, your spirit was alive, awake, complete. We look towards each other no longer from the distance of our names. Now you dwell inside the rhythm of breath, as close to us as we are to ourselves. Though we cannot see you with outward eyes, we know our soul's gaze is upon your face, smiling back at us from within everything to which we bring our best refinement. Let us not look to you only in memory, where we would grow lonely without you. You would want us to find you in presence, beside us when beauty brightens, when kindness glows, and music echoes eternal tones. When orchids brighten the earth, darkest winter has turned to spring, may this dark grief flower with hope in every heart that loves you. May you continue to inspire us, to enter each day with a generous heart, to serve the call of courage and love until we see your beautiful face again in that land where there is no more separation, where all the tears will be wiped away from our minds, and where we will never lose you again.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. My name is Tom, and I count it an honor to come with you for a few moments to share. I think I can speak for the group here, the Kaiser employees and staff and caregivers, that it has truly been a special privilege to come alongside for a brief time and be in your life, be a small part of your journey. Thank you to Kaiser for allowing spiritual care and hospice to be as vital and important as we try to make it. Not all organizations value and give that opportunity, so thank you to Kaiser Permanente for allowing this. And thank you for your part in our lives, because you and your loved ones touched us. Whether it was some stories we shared, whether it was a squeeze of the hand or a look of the eye and a glance, a friendship, tears, sometimes music. I like to sing with patients and families. And thank you to our quintet for bringing such a beautiful accompaniment, such a beautiful gift to this gathering. That blessing, that special gift you share with us is so important. As we go forward, I think that in many ways in community, as human beings, as neighbors, as friends, we can bring light, we can bring variety. Just as the instruments over there are mostly all made of wood with a little bit of metal and a few small brass parts, but each one is very different in its voice, in its tone, in its structure. So our lives are much the same, with little tweaks, little changes, but we enrich one another in that care, in that love, and that bond, whether it's for a few minutes, a few hours, months, possibly over the span of years. We have deep appreciation for being allowed to enter your life and for you entrusting us with those moments. Our litany, our prayer, is on the back of your program. It's from the Gates of Prayer. I'll read the fine print lines, and we together can join our voices and bring the body and the power in the refrain, we remember them. So would you join with me in this litany? In the rising of the sun and in its going down, we remember them. In the blowing of the wind and in the chill of winter, we remember them. In the opening of buds and in the rebirth of spring, we remember them. In the blueness of the sky and in the warmth of summer, we remember them. In the rustling of leaves and in the beauty of autumn, we remember them. In the beginning of the year and when it ends, we remember them. When we are weary and in need of strength, we remember them. When we are lost and sick at heart, we remember them. When we have joys we yearn to share, we remember them. So long as we live, they too shall live, for they are now a part of us as we remember them.
Good morning. My name is Jaime Romo, and I'm blessed to be a spiritual companion in our team. And I'm blessed to have walked with so many of you and seen your deep love and compassion and grace as you deal with what seems unimaginable and unbearable. I came into this role myself when my dad was in hospice, and I appreciate the stress and the sacredness. And so I'm so thankful to have the opportunity to witness through others that spiritual journey of grief that also brings life. I'd like to invite you for a moment as you to think of your beloved. If it helps, you can close your eyes. If it helps, you can put your hand on your heart. And the first memory I ask is that you think of a time where you felt deeply loved by your beloved. And just take a moment and take a breath and let that sink in and reconnect. Thank you. I invite you to take a moment and take into your heart a time where you felt just really happy with your beloved. And take a breath and let that fill you. Thank you. And now I want to use a prop. If you think of the thumb pointing back to us, we can think of maybe something that we're proud of. And so I ask you to think of something that you're proud of about yourself because of your beloved. If you take a moment and take that in. Thank you. And take your ring finger and take a moment to think of something that you are committed to because of your beloved. And take that in. Thank you. And finally, our pinky finger. What is something that you promise yourself because of your beloved? And take that in. Thank you. I'd like to end with a blessing where your song begins again. Beloved, I could not bear it if this blessing ended with a final beat of your heart. If it left with the last breath that bore you away from here. I could not stand the silence, the stillness, where all had once been song, had been story, had been the cadence liturgy of your life. So let it be that this blessing will abide in the pulse that moves us from this moment to the next. Let it be that you will breathe in us here bereft, but beloved still. Let it be that you will make your home in the chamber of our heart, where your story does not cease, where your words take flesh anew, where your song begins again. Thank you.
Hi there, good morning. I'm Allegra Rich. I'm the Hospice Medical Director for Kaiser Hospice. And I just want to say on behalf of all of our doctors in our medical group, really what an honor it's been to care for your loved ones this year. Your families have really touched us. As Dr. Flynn and I read the names of those who've passed, we invite you to come up and light a candle. And we'll be calling out the names. Please come on up and light a candle for your family member. Peter Madzalewski.
Brett Garany.
Larry Anderson.
Keith Jenkins.
Lee Haugen.
John Coyne.
Thomas P. Thomas.
Donald Leonard.
John Fusco.
James K. Straub.
Bruce Cromer.
Sterling Grant.
Monica Wyatt.
Lucila Bocanegra.
Ophelia Diaz Gonzalez.
Ryan Robertson.
Jackie Dunn.
Kurt von Plotner.
Shirley Alexander.
Vicky Gores.
Donald Leonard.
Don Clark.
Marcia Fisher.
John Larson.
Dawn Grace.
Patricia Pierman.
Richard Gebert.
And Chester Howard.
We'd also like to invite anybody who'd like to light a candle for a loved one whose name hasn't been spoken. We invite you up.
shadows are falling and I'm running out of breath. Keep me in your heart for a while. If I leave you, it doesn't mean I love you any less. Keep me in your heart for a while.
When you get up in the morning and you see that crazy sun, keep me in your heart for a while. There's a train leaving nightly called when all is said and done. Keep me in your heart for a while. Sha-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-lo. Keep me in your heart for a while. Sha-la-la-la-la-la-la-lo. Keep me in your heart for a while. Sometimes when you're doing simple things around the house, maybe you'll think of me and smile. You know I'm tied to you like the buttons on your blouse. Keep me in your heart for a while. Hold me in your thoughts, take me to your dreams, touch me as I fall into you. And when the winter comes, keep the fires lit. I will be right next to you. Engine drivers headed north to Pleasant Stream. Keep me in your heart for a while. These wheels keep on turning, but they're running out of steam. Keep me in your heart for a while. Hold me in your thoughts, take me to your dreams, touch me as I fall into you. And when the winter comes, keep the fires lit, and I will be right next to you. Sha-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-lo. Keep me in your heart for a while. Sha-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-lo. Keep me in your heart for a while. Keep me in your heart for a while.
Thank you again for being here today and for sharing your time and your love and your family with us. And at the end of the service, if you'd like to take a photo with your family by the candles or by the memory table, please remember to take any memory items that you brought with you today. We also have a few handouts for you at the door. We have the John O'Donohue Blessing. That is one of my favorites, and that's the green one. It's there for you. We have this as a holiday bill of rights. It's a handout that we use in our bereavement groups. It's a really nice little handout. It gives you some good, some thoughts and counsel about negotiating the holidays. There is a flyer for our bereavement groups. So these are open to anybody. You don't have to be a Kaiser member to attend these, and all of the details are on this handout. And then there's one more reading, a reflection also by John Donahue for you. So those are the 4 things that are out there on the table for you to take with you. Before we close, I do want to thank our beautiful, wonderful musicians who come and support us. with their gift of music. We have a lot of music in this service, and I think I really like that. Also, I want to thank Christ Presbyterian Church. Our host church has been our host church since 2020. And back when we couldn't have people present, we were trying to figure out how to do this service, and we're like, well, wait a minute. They live stream every Sunday. They know how to do it. And so this service is actually live streamed right now. And you probably received an email with the link. So you can use that same link to watch it again. So if you'd like to watch it again, please do. You can use that link as often as you like. It's very simple. Just click. All right. Well, here's the benediction and the sending forth. Life is short, and we do not have too much time to gladden the hearts of those who travel the way with us. So be swift to love and make haste to be kind. And the blessings of eternal love be among you and remain with you always. Amen.